The ego self doesn't exist in reality. When we inquire into the ego self, it disappears. Similarly, the Buddhist texts also speak of the nature of emptiness. And when we try to find the mind, we can't find it. If we go really deep, it doesn't exist. It's not here. So the I, myself, we can start to know it less. It occupies so much of attention. In your life, literally, the I is like the axis of the whole world. And so much attention is absorbed into this I that eventually one forgets about the big, larger reality, the existence of God, the allness of the self. So much attention is given to the I that upon it, one begins to imagine that I'm this or that. Why don't you just be without the this or that? Why don't you just be undefined? Be the mystery to yourself. Be the mystery to yourself. Just be. Be the mystery to your name. To your gender. To your role. Let's simplify it all to simply be. Such a complexity comes when we pay attention to the who, why, how, when, which, where, and the complexity just builds upon itself like the gears of the mechanical clock. These days, people don't even have mechanical clocks anymore. So the only gears you will see is when you click the button settings. When we simplify into just being without imagining anything else, without assuming anything else, without trying to be something, someone, or not being someone, something, we find the ultimate simplicity. Just being. This is the doorway to Zen, the ultimate path of simplicity, Zen. This is the doorway to the true self-inquiry, jnana, yoga. It's the doorway to the truth without expectation. So you are not what you think you are. And yes, you heard me right. You are not what you think you are. And once you relax what you think you are, once you ease off the stick in the wheel of what you think you are, once you soften from what you think you are, you then give some space for God finally. You gave so much attention to yourself that everything got cramped. Seriously. And once you soften the boundaries of your feeling of yourself, you start to give some space for God, for the big self. So softening the boundaries of yourself, the sense of I am, I exist, at the deep core of your being, you open the doorway to something far bigger. When you forget the person that you are, that you think you are, that you feel that you are, you can then give space for the eternal self. Let's take a big eraser and just rub yourself out of the now. Find the canvas. See the canvas. Be the canvas. Without the stain of the ego. You need to clean the camera. There's a stain of the ego here. Being the canvas. So surrender is not the activity, but it's the cessation of false belief in a separate self. Surrender is a cessation, stopping, in other words, ceasing to assume and feeling yourself as a separate being. This is what the real surrender is. When you stop, cease, discontinue assuming yourself in a way of feeling, sensing that you are separate. So surrender is not giving up something to someone, but it's forgetting yourself. Realizing even more so that there is no you to surrender. When you clearly see that there is no you to surrender, only God remains. When there is no me to surrender, God exists. The original cause exists. Because God and self is the original one, and the individual self is a mere reflection. It's not the original one, it's the copy. A reflection. The mirror. When you look into the mirror, you know that you are not what you see in the mirror. Unless you're absolute narcissist or Instagrammer. The one who is, completely lost in it. So instead of loving the image of yourself, love the real self. because the image of the self will fade, will get old, will crumble in pain, because affirming your individual separate self is the chief veil between the human and the divine self. When you keep affirming yourself as a separate self, you keep feeding the rats in the storage room. Therefore, surrender the ego affirmation. Assuming that the world spins around you, that the world exists because of you, that you will save the world, even on the good note that you believe that you can make the world a better place. It is still the ego game, the positive ego game. So Kabir says, when I was, God was not. When God is, I am not. All darkness vanished when the lamp of truth lit within. He further says, chanting the Lord's name, Ram, Satnam, constantly made me forget myself. This is the japa, the Simran, repetition of the name of God, to forget yourself. And now wherever I look, I only see the Almighty One, the Supreme. Guru Nanak says, let go of ego, engage in selfless service and devotion. When humanity, this is my quote now, when humanity serves itself, the world doesn't go anywhere. When humanity serves God, this planet, this quadrant lights up as a lamp at night in the vastness of space. We won't get far by serving ourselves only. I'll continue with Guru Nanak. He says, by understanding you, ego doesn't vanish. A person becomes one with Creator when he meets the true Guru. Another master, Meher Baba, says, surrender means giving up your mind and being only guided in life by the Guru's word and direction, with absolutely no thinking. We need to unlearn all the ways of the world, all the ways of self-interest. The way of forgetting yourself is not a momentarily thing. It's a constant practice, remembering God, doing your japa, Ram, Satnam, serving the greater cause, serving God. For there is no greater sadhana, which is discipline, no greater sadhana than love. When you serve yourself, even with idea of love, you never reach it. When you serve yourself, you're like that image of a dog and there's a stick with a rope and a sausage in front. You never catch it. Whatever is your motivation, you never catch it. Even if your motivation of serving yourself is love, happiness, making the world a better place, but when you serve yourself only, it never really comes. You never really catch it, never really reach it. But when you remember God, when you chant the name of God, and whether that's Krishna or Shiva or the formless Ram, Satnam, you find yourself right there, in love, in happiness and joy. When you serve and help from this place, then love surrounds you. It is the way of the gopis. It is the way of the Premis, the lovers of God. Because love surrenders to the will of the beloved. The Premi gives all to the beloved, sacrifices all to the divine, for the divine beloved, lives for the beloved, dies for the beloved. And that is life worth lived. When one lives life for the self-interest, one rottens in the graveyard, left without nothing. But the Premi, the lover of God, who lives for the divine beloved and dies for the divine beloved, leaves this world with infinite joy. So that's why it's worth forgetting yourself and giving way to God, the big self, the source. Let's be the lovers of God, the Premis. Prem means love. So we walk this life in love. We live this life in love. We shed the form with love, having tasted the sweetness of being the lover of God. How that fulfills the chalice of your seeking, and not chasing the winds of your desires for personal fulfillment that never come. But the lover of God drinks from the cup of the nectar of love. Therefore, remembering God is the utmost importance, for one needs to override the inbuilt ego knowledge with love and remembrance of God. Someone asked Ramana, "How do I take care of others?" And Ramana said, "There are no others. There is only the self." When people ask, "How can I make the world a better place?" Remember God. Love God. And it will automatically become a better place. It is a human fallacy that everyone wants to make a world a better place, but it's not what's happening. In reality, it's getting more polluted. The waters, the skies, the nature, the animals, the food that we eat, because the forces of darkness made humanity to forget God through all the tricks and manipulation, of which I could make a list mile long, but we can throw this list away when we remember and love God. So this is what it means to be a lover of God. The Premi who loves God, who forgets oneself not only for the sake of others, but for the sake of God. And we have many beautiful examples in the history of the lovers of God. The most poetic, Rumi. The most direct, Kabir. The most unconditional one, Jesus. The most devoted one, Guru Nanak. The most ascetic one, if I'm pronouncing it right, Mahavira, the Jain founder, a master of service to God, Meher Baba. At his resting place, it's inscripted, "Mastery in Service." And so many more names I could mention of the lovers of God, for whom nothing else existed but the Supreme One, whether they called it the Self, the Lord, the Father, Satpurush, the Nameless One, the Formless One, Ikonkar, the Tao, the Zen. These are all lovers of God in their own way. We do have many examples to look at, and they all indeed made the world a better place by remembering and loving God absolutely. Even when civilizations rise and fall, Their names are eternal. Their truth is ever living. The presence of their divine souls are felt even today. This is the true meaning of lover of God, Premi. The true examples of forgetting themselves and giving way to the Supreme One. So this is one of the eightfold path, lotus of divine Marga, which combines seva at a universal scale, even beyond the universe. It touches many parts, many paths, self-realization, the soul and the spirit, and divine light sound stream. Being the lover of God touches everything and everyone.